your sorry ass out on the street. Yeah, what you got? You used to think you owned the street. Well, pack your bags and your ass is dead meat. Victory's sweet.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? And welcome to week number 12 of the Lowdown Show on the Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, the weekly episodic podcast where me and my co-hosts review and discuss Raw and SmackDown from the past week, as well as any important headlines in the WWE, and of course our Twitter poll segment, which will not be this week, as there's a lot of news, and we are quite busy this week, actually, the last couple weeks. We had the mock draft, and we had our Canadian holiday this weekend. We had a lot to do.
And we did go to the NHL draft.
We did go to the NHL draft as well, so we had a lot going on, so there will be no Luke Gallows polls this week. We'll continue those next week, but I'm your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters. You can go ahead and follow me on Twitter at RealKyleMasters, and I'm joined by my co-host, as always, the boss, Mr. Corporate himself, Corporate Cappy.
Yep.
You can follow him on Twitter at Corporate Cappy. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. And you can also follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spreaker. We are everywhere now. And yeah, guys, go check us out. Listen to us, watch us, whatever you have to do. And as always, this episode of Lowdown Show is broadcasted live on Spreaker at Spreaker.com/NHBWP. And after it's done, it is posted everywhere else, such as YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. If you would like to join in on the conversation, share any thoughts, or have any questions, tweet us at NoHoldsBarredWP. Send us an email on our official website, or comment on the video on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get right into it. Wow, it's getting intense. We are almost at the draft, and my anticipation level is getting crazier and crazier and crazier by the week, like as the weeks leading up to the draft. Actually, hold up. We forgot to do something, as we always do, is our shout-outs. Shout-outs again, as always, to RTM Wrestling. They do a fantastic UK-based WWE podcast, so go check out our podcast buddies from across the pond, and as well as our WWE Locker Talk. They do a great WWE podcast as well, our American buddies, and a happy 4th of July to them as well, coming up on Monday. And of course, fun WWE polls. They are our source for the Luke Gallows polls. Unfortunately, we couldn't get any from them this week, so we'll get to them next week. And as always, this episode of Lowdown Show is unofficially brought to you by Bootios. They make sure you ain't booty. So yeah, the draft. Holy crap. I'm getting so stoked for this. Like it's crazy how much news has been coming out too, and like slowly leaking information by weeks. Like just by every week, there's like one thing leading up to the draft that's getting released. So let's just go over what they've released so far, and then we'll discuss it. So there are going to be 2 world titles. This is official. If you missed it on Raw this week, Dean Ambrose was introduced as the WWE Champion, and not the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then the graphic also said WWE Champion. So we are now, this has to be the official leak that we're going to get another world title. I was surfing through Twitter yesterday, and I sent a picture over to my corporate co-host over here of what the new world title is probably going to look like. And
yeah,
not a fan.
It's pretty bad.
Not a fan. I'm going to put the graphic up on YouTube right now. You guys take a look. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's right there. If you're listening to it somewhere else, guys, go check it out. It'll be on my Kyle Masters Twitter account. As you can see there, it looks like the world title, but it's blue. It's blue, and it looks like it's going to be the SmackDown exclusive one.
If you want to make it different, why wouldn't you bring back the old world title and like maybe spruce it up a little bit? Why do you have to make it the exact same title as the WWE Championship?
It feels like it's too generic that way. Like they didn't try.
Yeah,
it looks like they're trying hard to make both shows awesome, but then you go and you slack off on the world title. I know there's a lot of people out there that are, have their opinions on having 2 world titles, and some people like it, some people don't like the idea because they feel like it's just a brand like WWE should have 1 world champion, not 2.
Especially if they have the exact same title with different colors.
Yeah, but then you can look at it like this. If you have 1 world champion and he's on 1 brand, how it's not fair to the other people on the other brand.
You can't be in 2 different storylines on 2
No,
shows.
it just doesn't make sense. You can't have 2 number 1 contenders on 2 different shows fighting for that spot because they're supposed to stay on their exclusive brands.
Yeah. And
now that we're getting exclusive pay-per-views, which we'll get into later, it's going to be interesting to see what they do now when they bring back the world champion and which world champion is going to make their respective title more meaningful. Like back in the day, I remember back in the Ruthless Aggression era, the world title was the main title. and it
that was the one
slowly
on Raw.
transitioned
Yeah.
into the WWE title being the main title, and the world title kind of slipped off the face of the earth, and basically everyone was winning it, so no one gave a shit about it. They can't do that again.
Yep.
They cannot go back into that transition where one title is just, it's a world title, but it just means nothing.
They have to be put on the same pedestal level.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't just have anyone winning titles.
Yeah.
No. The mid-carders stay at mid-card until if they get more popular with the fans and they deserve a world championship opportunity, then you go that far. You don't just make anyone world champion.
The superstar is supposed to elevate the title. The title doesn't elevate a superstar.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see if indeed that is going to be the world championship that's coming out, unless that's just a rumor. But I've seen it everywhere. A lot of people tweeting about it. So again, my hope is that it's not. But if it is, whatever, I'm going to have to grow to like it somehow.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But getting into more of the draft, it's been released that there will be 2 different sets. So Raw and SmackDown will have not the same looking set as you always see. But it's actually rumored that the new set is for Raw and not SmackDown.
Wow.
So that means SmackDown will keep that original set that they show now. But you know what? I want them to bring back the fist. As much as there's a lot of people I read on Twitter too that don't like the fist for some reason, but that's iconic with SmackDown. Like,
I love the fist.
You know, you were watching SmackDown when you saw the fist. So that little WWE logo they have on stage, replace that with the fist if you can't put it anywhere else. Then I would be fine with that. I'm pretty sure they have it in the warehouse somewhere. Just dust it off, bring it back, put it right there. I'll be happy.
But then Seth Rollins couldn't do his entrance properly because they have to show the stupid little WWE logo for his entrance.
Maybe they'll just show the fist this time. If he is on SmackDown, he might be on Raw.
Yeah,
but there will be a different set. That's gonna be crazy because, as you know, like when Vince stopped becoming a billionaire back a couple years ago, they stopped putting more. They did a lot of budget cuts, and we just saw the same set for every pay per view and Raw and SmackDown. Just Raw and SmackDown would have the ramp. The pay per view would have no ramp. So that's it. That was basically the budget cuts. But I guess now that we're gonna have 2 shows and it looks like Vince is getting back to that billionaire status, he's putting more money into this. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm liking it, but I really hope the new set is for SmackDown. I really hope they do something with the fist and bring it back some way.
Yeah,
but
they need to differentiate the 2 shows.
Yeah, that's for sure. Also, this is actually really, really cool. I like that they're doing this. For the first time ever, wrestlers are not being told where they're going to be drafted to until the day of.
I like that.
So that's actually pretty crazy, and it actually, I guess it helps there because a lot of stuff gets leaked nowadays, with social media being what it is now. It's easier for wrestlers not to leak what show they're going to be on this way.
I like when they keep it secret like that.
So wrestlers, and whether or not they're going to be told before they actually get drafted or they get told on the day of, is going to be something. I really hope they just don't tell them at all until like the announcement gets made where they're getting drafted, because it's crazy. But apparently all superstars are going to be on SmackDown for that draft. Everyone's going to that show. Good. So it's going to be really awesome to see
That's the first live SmackDown,
right? Yeah, it'll be the first live SmackDown. As the rumor was before, it is not true anymore. The Divas will not all be on one show. They will be split up. It's interesting because we all thought they were only going to be on one show, which would kind of make sense. But if they have better plans of making the Divas better, then I hope that this way that if you're going to split them up, then you're going to do something. But
you know what I see here is them doing the exact same thing as the world title. Making the women, like keeping the women's title and then bringing back the Divas title, but having it the exact same looking as the women's title. So they have like the exact
and it's
same
like pink
champion.
and it's not red.
Yeah, I see them doing that.
Oh god!
But bringing back.
And that's what I wanted to get into. Like, what are they gonna do now? Are they gonna have the champion on both shows, or are you gonna have another Divas title? Like, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that. But yeah, the Divas will not all be on one show. They'll be separated.
Just don't bring back the butterfly title, please.
Yeah, that was horrendous. Like, I remember when it first came out, I didn't even want it. I still didn't want it.
You got rid of the women's title for that?
Yeah. As for call-ups, so far the only 2 confirmed call-ups are Finn Balor and American Alpha. Finn Balor keeps teasing he's on Raw every week. He takes a picture of himself in the city where he is. But I wouldn't doubt he's there, but he's probably just backstage and like looking at what's going to happen, who's going to feud with, and how other superstars are doing on the show, what someone goes through.
He's just trolling hardcore.
Yeah. So every week he just trolls that he's there. It's hilarious. But American Alpha, good for them. They're a really sick tag team, so I think they'll boost up the tag team division for whatever show. Bailey is said to be called up, but not until after SummerSlam.
Fuck.
They have a really big plan for her at SummerSlam, apparently, so she will not be at the draft, unfortunately.
Hey, we want some Bailey.
Maybe she'll make an appearance at SummerSlam for Raw champion.
Yeah.
Have a stare down. Bailey and Sasha.
Oh, don't get me going.
But we'll move on. GMs will not be called GMs. They're being called Chief Operating Officers.
So they're all Triple H now?
So, we have the Chief Operating Officer of Raw and the Chief... That's such a long... I know they're going to say COO of Raw, COO of SmackDown. Why didn't they just call GMs? What's wrong with General Managers?
They should be the Director of Operations.
Who knows? Maybe Kane will be one of them. You never know.
I hope to God he is.
But that's going to be interesting to call them COOs of each brand. So I guess this is something different that WWE's going with. Maybe they'll like stop after a while and they'll go back to GMs. Who knows? Getting into the separate pay-per-views topic, it will begin in September. And apparently that rumored list that was leaked is apparently true, and it's actually going to happen. So September is going to start off with Backlash, the Raw pay-per-view, and the other pay-per-view for SmackDown will be called Clash of Champions.
So I guess it's not Night of Champions
No,
anymore.
they're scrapping Night of Champions, and they bought the trademark for the WCW pay-per-view Clash of Champions.
Oh, wow.
I'm wondering if they're going to use the old logo or not, or look at some similar. But
that was a WCW pay-per-view?
Yep,
Wow.
Clash of Champions, yep. Really famous WCW pay-per-view. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be like a redesign type of pay-per-view. Yeah. But starting in September, we're going back to the brand-exclusive pay-per-views.
I like it.
If you guys didn't see it, go check it out. I'll probably have it on my Kyle Masters Twitter account as well. Neville and Orton are set to return on the draft date as well.
Makes sense.
So we'll see. There, I guess those are just like surprise returns to hype the draft a little bit more. There's no word yet on what they're going to do with the tag team championships, to split them up or not. So I guess we'll probably find out maybe on the day of the draft or leading up, because nothing's been released just yet. And live events will return to brand exclusive live events.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting. And it's confusing right now with that too, because John Cena is being scheduled right now. There actually is live events scheduled now for Raw and SmackDown, and John Cena is being advertised for both.
Probably because they just want people to buy the tickets.
Yeah, and again, it's a subject to change all that crap. So again, it's probably just a confusion around that, and they can't really leak anything until the draft. So that's probably why he's advertised for both. So it's gonna be interesting, like, because back when they decided that, they were saying Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins were the top heel and top face, and then AJ Styles Cena were the top heel and top face. But now you have Ambrose as champion. Like, where do you even fit him in that? It's crazy what they're gonna do, and he's gonna be champion leading into the draft.
They'll probably keep the 3 Shield members on Raw.
Oof. Can you imagine they split? And then that's interesting too, because the draft is before Battleground, before their triple threat match. Well, so this is going to be really,
is
really
Reigns even back for that?
Yes, apparently he will be back for their match. We'll get into that coming up.
In the next subject.
The draft. Yeah, no, he's not. Apparently, it still said he's not going to be at the draft. Oh. He's still suspended from that draft. Oh. I mean, they can still draft him, but
he won't be there. Okay.
Yeah. So getting into that, Roman Reigns' suspension.
Wow. The suspended guy.
He's not the guy. He's a suspended guy now. Wow. This is probably the craziest story out of the last 2 weeks, actually. I can't believe out of anybody, Roman Reigns gets suspended.
Violating wellness policy.
And they have not released why.
I guess I think
they're trying to protect them really bad. And they know that he knows what he did, and they just don't want it leaked, because he's going to be their John Cena of the future. So they don't want anything, like any history people can go back on and like criticize him for that.
And honestly, I think it happened before he dropped the title.
Yeah.
I think that they just didn't want that bad publicity of having their champion being suspended. Yeah,
it's true. The WWE did know before the Money in the Bank match, and I guess that actually changed our minds on making Ambrose the champion and having Rollins beat Reigns, and then Ambrose cashing in on Rollins. So that had something to do with it, and they had to bring him out on Raw to set up their Battleground match, and that's why he was on Raw as well. But after that, they announced a suspension, so he's now for 30 days. It takes away a lot from the main event of Battleground, because that's a pretty sick main event. That's another WrestleMania quality main event, as Michael Cole would say. But I didn't even know why they're doing that Battleground. I wanted this match to be at WrestleMania, but this is crazy. I'm wondering if something's going to happen, maybe something to tie in with the draft. Maybe one superstar gets drafted to another brand out of that pay-per-view. But again, the pay-per-view is double branded, so that's why it doesn't really make sense. But again, it just takes a lot out of this main event when Roman Reigns is not there on TV.
I mean, he doesn't say much, but I mean, just having him there.
Yeah. I mean, Seth Rollins brought it up on Raw this week,
great.
and I can't believe he brought it up this week.
He's like, I'm not supposed to say anything, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Let's talk about Roman Reigns. I'm like, oh shit!
He puts up the Twitter, the tweet on the Jumbotron.
And he just rips Roman Reigns apart for everything. Like, Seth Rollins is the best. Like, he's hilarious. I mean, I can't believe they even brought it up. I'm like, I wonder if they're going to say anything leading up to their Battleground match. But yeah, I guess they're going to, and they're probably going to do it for the rest of the upcoming weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see how they tie Reigns into this main event and make it more hype and like keep the hype up. Because right now it's just Ambrose and Rollins.
Yeah.
And I think they maybe should have just done it Ambrose and Rollins after he got suspended. They should have taken him out of the match and done it like a punishment. But like, I just don't understand how you keep Reigns in there. You don't show him.
Poor Roman Reigns, man. If he didn't get booed already, he's gonna get booed so bad when he comes back.
He's gonna get so booed, so booed. And he's missing the draft. Like, does he even like? It's interesting to see when you use him to go into the draft. Does he get drafted first overall? Does he get drafted last overall because of suspension? Like, what happens with him in the draft? It's just crazy to think. It's weird how he also appeared on Raw after.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh my god, that's risky because now if a superstar in the future gets suspended, and you'd be like, oh, why didn't I appear in my last Raw? You guys took me out, but you kept Roman Reigns on there.
Yep.
Like, that's apparently they even made him like say sorry to the locker room, but whether that's true or not, I mean, I read something about that saying that he got a mixed reaction. So I mean, I would too. But like, you're the fucking poster boy. Now you're getting suspended for like breaking a wellness policy. Good fucking job.
What the hell are you doing, man?
It's just, I don't understand that. It's just going to be interesting to see what they do and how they make this main event still hype leading up in there. Or else, like, whatever Cena and Styles get into, that's probably going to take over because they can hype up their Money in the Bank match like unreal. Yeah, like they broke the fourth wall all of their promos.
They should have just taken Reigns out of this match and made it a triple threat at SummerSlam.
They should have. That should have been saved for SummerSlam, not Battleground. I don't know. Maybe they have better plans. Maybe it has something to do with Lesnar. Whatever. Let's get into that Cena Styles thing. So it's continuing now. As we know, it kind of looks like what your prediction is. They're going to have another match at Battleground, and the final conclusion is going to be a SummerSlam for the title. But I'm hearing rumors that it's not going to be a one-on-one match at Battleground. I'm hearing rumors that it's going to be the entire club against John Cena in a tag team of his choosing, and I'm thinking that they're going to choose Enzo and Cass.
That would be pretty funny.
That'd be sick. That match just right there is going to sell. That's a great match. You have big guy versus big guy. You have Luke Gallows versus Big Cass. You have Enzo versus Ken Anderson. And you have Cena versus Styles. You can sell that match. It's a Battleground type of match right there. So I really hope that actually happens.
Yeah, Enzo and Cass are way over right now, so that would work.
Oh my god, that'd be insane. Yeah. And the Bullet Club looks really dominant lately.
The Club?
I refuse to call them the Club. And I'm pissed off because I thought when Balor get called up, they were going to use Balor Club, and now WWE has dropped the trademark Balor Club. So what the hell? Are you honestly going to call it the Club? I mean, I love their new logo. Don't get me wrong. Their new logo is fantastic, and I love how all their attire has the Japanese writing on it. That's so sick. I love how WWE is incorporating that. But, like, the Club... Are you kidding me?
Sounds like a jobber tag
It sounds
team.
like a fucking 8-year-old Treehouse Fort name, like the Club. Like, what the hell is that? But I love the whole Cena and Styles thing. That's like, we saw the dream match, and if they do the tag team match, that's going to be a really good match. I think they can pull up a lot of good spots. But again, their promos with each other is just incredible. Yeah. Speaking of Cena, I want to talk about something. I don't know if anyone's seen the Cricket Wireless commercial ad yet, where they have everyone standing in front of this giant poster of John Cena, like building him up and going, "It's John Cena!" And John Cena freaking like jumps out of the poster and scares the shit out of whoever's doing that. And there's this old man, and I thought he was gonna have a heart attack. I'm like, why did they make him do that? But he just jumps out of the poster, and you have these people on trumpets playing his theme song coming right behind him. This is probably the funniest commercial I've ever seen
it, and I really don't want to see John Cena.
Oh my god, you have to see, just because I know we both hate John Cena, but like this commercial, I was pissing myself. Like, this was so good. And like the one kid got so scared, he like dropped to the ground because like you're not expecting that. But it was pretty cool. But anyway, Cena and Styles feud looks like it's continuing, and I hope it leads into the battle for the new world title at SummerSlam, hoping it's not that blue title. But we'll see. Moving on, really interesting. Speaking of tag teams, interesting tag team feuding now. and I can't believe this is actually happening, but the Wyatts and New Day are feuding with each other.
Oh my god.
And what happened on Raw this week was probably the funniest thing I've seen the New Day do since the Time Machine and anything before that. They came out, it was the Wyatt little intro, like the dut, and then, oh, I'm like, no. And they come out dressed as the Wyatts. And he even had, what was it, Xavier Woods? Or Kofi, the big giant pillow in his ass to make it look like Eric Rowan's
butt. Yeah, Kofi. Xavier Woods was dressed as Luke Harper, and then Big E was Bray Wyatt. He looked like Hillbilly Jim, but I mean, it was...
man, this was so fantastic. They just ripped the Wyatts apart, and then the Wyatts came out, and then the Wyatts do their promo as they always do, and then New Day falls.
Yeah, and they're like making this angle where like Xavier Woods is like actually like terrified
getting,
of them,
like warped, and like they had a backstage interview, and like Woods just kind of like walked away as like Big E and Kofi were like hyping it. But this is going to be a really good tag team match. This is probably be one of the matches of the night at Battleground. I can't believe they're actually doing this again. This is where I thought they would save for WrestleMania, but man, so WWE is just like pushing it hardcore right now.
Is this for the titles?
Nothing's been officially released yet.
3-on-3, 2-on-2?
I think it's going to be 3-on-3, and I think it won't be for the titles. Because I always say it, I think they're keeping New Days to be the longest reigning tag team champions, and they have to defend it at SummerSlam in order to do so.
So if it's a 3-on-3, there will be a non-title match.
Yeah, so that's 2 3-on-3 matches that are potentials for Battleground. You know, I'm fine with that. If it's like an old tag team pay-per-view, whatever, man. They can pull off some shit that we don't really see in a tag team match.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be cool. And a lot of cool stuff happens in tag team matches too. But New Day versus the Wyatts, like, wow.
Yeah, that's the Wyatts are back, so.
Yep, thank God, and it looks like they're ready to go, too.
I don't know when Luke Harper's going to be back.
But... that sucks. He's the one Wyatt out of them that are really good, too, and they brought back Eric Rowan, and I'm like, I guess it kind of makes sense, the whole two sheep thing, but whatever.
By the way, what the fuck happened to Braun Strowman's push or whatever? Remember Vince McMahon was like, Braun Strowman has this crazy moveset that we haven't seen
this
yet.
was before WrestleMania. I remember I was talking about this, and like Vince hyping him up, like this crazy moveset we haven't seen yet, and then after WrestleMania he's going to get the biggest push ever. Nope. Braun who? Maybe the brand split. Maybe they're going to split him up.
Oh
maybe Vince's like, I'm going to wait for the brand split to push this guy.
I'm waiting for him to do like a moonsault off the top rope or something. You know what I mean?
That would be the biggest moonsault ever. Moving on, though. Miz returns. Speaking of returns.
Great. Did anyone miss him?
I did. No, I didn't.
I missed Marie, so it was
Oh, yeah. But so Miz returned, and he got made to defend his Intercontinental Championship because Corporate Kane said, according to, I don't remember what section of a WWE champion contract, he must defend the title once every 30 days, and Miz has not done it yet, so he had to defend the title against a mystery opponent, and instead of Corporate Kane.
1 second. Then how the fuck did Dean Ambrose never defend his U.S. title?
That's one thing. I think they kind of fucked up on that in WWE, because as soon as they said that while I was watching Raw, I'm like, Dean Ambrose. He held the U.S. title for like 100 and something days without defending it.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyways, so instead of Corporate Kane, Demon Kane comes out to face him for the IC title. I'm like, of course it's gonna be Demon Kane. I called that. So Demon Kane came out and faced them for the IC title. Obviously unsuccessful, and Miz won. I don't know what Miz's future for Battleground is with the IC title. I think Cesaro's number one contender.
Yeah, Cesaro won number one contender match on SmackDown.
Yeah, so now he's the number one contender.
Or wait, no. That was for the U.S. title.
Oh, so are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought Titus O'Neil was still feuding with Rusev for that.
No, on SmackDown they had like a 4-person they had a fatal 4-way match.
Oh.
And with the winner would face Rusev later on.
Oh.
And Cesaro won that match, and then Del Rio attacked him right after the match.
Oh, man.
And then Rusev came out and said, I want to start this match now. So, like, Cesaro was already, like, beating the shit.
Oh.
And then Rusev started the match, and Cesaro obviously lost, right?
So it's going to be interesting to see what Miz does now with the IC title. I don't know if he's going to have a rematch against Kane at Battleground. I really hope not. And if it's so, I hope it's the pre-show match so we don't have to care about it on the main card.
Unless it was Corporate Kane, I don't care.
Corporate Kane with his corporate khakis.
Yeah.
But moving on to an interesting feud, and it looks like it's going to be the ending battle, no pun intended, at Battleground. Owens and Zayn are heading into their final matchup, it looks like, for a while now, but this guy, they're hyping it up as one last time. And I think we're going to see an insane match.
They're probably going to pull some stuff they did in the Indies.
Yeah, and as much as people are saying right now, and we would sit here and be like, all right, we already seen this match like 800 times. I think this match is going to be fucking a blowout. So if they're hyping this up as their final matchup for a while now, then this is going to be like...
And just it. And just a one-on-one match for no stipulation, no titles, no nothing.
They should make this like a no disqualification match. Like this should be like no count out, no disqualification. This all out, just everything. I hope that stipulation does get added, and I kind of see that happening too.
Because we still have a couple weeks, so
that's gonna be so good. Yeah. Owens and Zayn, man, that's just such a good feud.
I know, but I really hope they end it after this.
Yeah,
they really need to both branch off.
I know, and I thought they were gonna end it at is it Money in the
Bank? They were in the match.
Yeah, like they did like a whole backstory on both of them, and it was like this really like overwhelming backstory, like showing them as friends and all that stuff, and then the breakup at NXT, and just it's crazy, man. Like this feud is so intense. So I really hope this match ends up being really, really good. Speaking of returns again, someone's girl's back.
Oh yeah,
Sasha Banks
came
out. Her return.
Yep.
Yeah, after my girl Paige had a title match.
And the stupidest ending to a title match.
Yeah, I can't... They fucked up so hard on this, okay? So, Paige gives Charlotte the Rampage. Like, the sickest move I've ever seen in my entire life. Near the ropes. And, like, the spot was for Dana Brooke to grab Charlotte's leg and put her on top and walk away. But she fucked up twice and had to hold her foot on the rope. And the ref had to play it off like her foot was just on the rope and not being held on the rope. I'm like, this is the worst... like botch I've ever seen. Like, way to go, Dana Brooke. Way to screw that up.
You got one job.
Yeah, and then like the ref throws her out and Paige is distracted, and of course like a distraction leads to the natural selection, and then Paige loses. Great. Yep. She should have won that freaking title match. She had her won, whatever.
And then Dana and Charlotte are celebrating, and then Sasha comes out.
Banks comes out, and that right hook by Sasha Banks. Damn.
To Dana like tried running up the ramp to hit her.
Oh my god, like that was nuts.
Out.
Like last week, man. I couldn't... When I seen that last week, that was just fucking like... that right hook. Yep. Wow. And then they did the same thing on SmackDown last week, too. Same thing where she came out and then they attacked... Like, she attacked...
she had a match with Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
And then she put Dana Brooke into the bank statement. And
that was this week.
Was
this week, right?
Stare down at Charlotte. Yeah. That was great.
And this week on Raw, we had our girls teaming up. Paige and Sasha Banks teaming up against Charlotte and Dana Brooke, and they came out with a victory, too.
That Paige kick
on Charlotte. That Paige kick in the outside is now my background photo on my Kyle Masters account.
That was
unbelievable. Great. That kick, like the snap you heard on that kick was insane.
I was honestly thinking that Paige was gonna like hit Sasha or something like that and like get added to the match.
No, my girl's not. I hope they save that for WrestleMania. I'll lose my shit if that's a WrestleMania match.
But both times she comes back, she's not on Superstars main event versus Summer Rae anymore.
Nope, because that happened on SmackDown this week.
Oh my fucking god.
So Summer Rae faced Sasha Banks on SmackDown this week
for the 20,000th time.
Beat her, obviously. But back to that Raw match. Sasha Banks ended up giving the Banks statement to Dana Brooke for the win.
And then she was Michael Cole's guest on his weekly interview segment.
Oh my god, that interview segment was nuts. So good. So good.
Go check it out.
I know she's not my girl, but that was really well done.
And she really wants to go to SmackDown, by the way. So
I think she'll get drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think they'll honor her wish. She's the future, so I mean they gotta honor her.
And going into this match, I honestly think that Charlotte's gonna like get some bullshit kind of win, or like a DQ or something.
Yeah.
And then they'll have a rematch at SummerSlam.
Probably. Speaking of women's, we had an interesting heel turn.
A couple weeks ago.
Natty.
Yeah.
What?
I guess she was just tired of. I don't know what she said backstage. She's just like, I'm tired of getting walked on, and
she turned on Becky. Yeah. Now they're like getting in a heated feud. Like they're kicking each other's ass like almost every week, like just brutally throwing each other against the boards and shit.
Well, Becky finally retaliated this week. She was supposed to have a match with who the fuck was she supposed to have a match with? I can't remember. Was it Charlotte?
I can't remember.
But like even before the match started, she just ran outside the ring and attacked Natty on commentary.
That was nuts.
Yep.
Like this is going to be a really good match. If they're setting up for a battleground match, I want to see this.
I'm starting to see like some ruthless aggression from Becky, you know.
And Becky's got a good moveset, so it's going to be interesting to see that match leading up into Battleground. So again, two good feuds going with the women's. And I love
it.
That's what I love to see.
give women a chance, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So interesting last couple of weeks leading up to the draft and the feud going into Battleground.
Yep.
Oh man, it's just I'm excited. I cannot wait for the draft.
Yeah, this is like one of the happiest times in a long time.
Oh,
that
for
I can
sure,
remember.
100%. So, no Luke Gallows polls this week, guys, unfortunately, but we do have our WWE Headline News segment. All right, and welcome to the headline news of our part of the show, where we have a couple headlines, only 4 this week. Again, I just touched base on some important stuff we can talk about. One, the Cruiserweight Classic is beginning taping this week.
Good.
It's almost done taping. Actually, it will debut on the network soon. Some familiar names that are in it this year are Brian Kendrick, Tajiri, and Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
Who is, I guess, our favorite to win, but I think I'm going to choose Zack Sabre Jr. This kid looks phenomenal looking at his background story.
I don't really know 3/4 of the competitors.
But I can't wait to see this Cruiserweight Classic. Apparently, they've been pulling off some shit that are just insane.
Yeah.
Like, I saw a couple of WWE tweets, like, just quick 4-second video clips of them, like, practicing moves. I'm like, oh, my God. I can't wait for this Cruiserweight Classic. So, that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's good that they're hyping the Cruiserweights again.
Yeah, I hope maybe they'll bring back the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Bring it back to SmackDown. Come on.
That'd be great.
Make it happen.
Another bit of news. Jerry Lawler's suspension has been lifted immediately. Apparently, all charges were dismissed from that domestic abuse. I think it was domestic abuse.
No, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it's something to do with his wife, but apparently all charges have been dropped, and WWE learned this, and effective immediately has lifted his suspension, so we're most likely to see Jerry Lawler back on SmackDown next week, and also on the live SmackDown when it airs live.
Domestic dispute.
That's it. Yeah. So good for Jerry Lawler. I'm glad that
he was dropped, Jerry. You got to figure it out, man.
Yeah, man. Just don't get into shit like that anymore, man. Stop it.
We don't want David Otunga as the color commentator on SmackDown.
Keep that guy on Superstars.
No, keep him on the Raw pre-show.
Yeah.
There you go.
Another bit of news. Kurt Angle clarifies his return rumor. Apparently, it says he was indeed in talks with Triple H about a return. But he says it will be sometime in the next year, and apparently it was a lose conversation, not a win-win, but they will be staying in touch with each other as the year goes on. So he will not be at the draft as people predicted this year.
Because I assume they wanted him to come back and just put people over.
Yeah.
And I bet that's what he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, and maybe like have a match and be maybe like the American Alpha's manager.
Yeah.
And like do like a whole like Team Angle thing kind of thing again. So it's going to be interesting to see what Kurt Angle does in the next year. I'd kind of like to see him in one more match.
I want to see him come back one more time, yeah.
That'd be great. Another bit of news, more indie talents are coming to WWE. The rumors are that Moose from House of Hardcore, I remember seeing him.
Yeah, we actually saw him. Met him.
Really, really hype. We met him. Really good guy. He's really huge. Fits the character that Vince wants. He's really, really over with the House of Hardcore crowd, so apparently he's going to be signed with NXT very soon. Yep. And also, rumors of Ricochet signing with WWE are not being clarified yet, but apparently he's being signed with WWE. Whether he'll be in NXT or main roster is something to be known. But Ricochet, if you guys don't know, he had probably one of the matches of the year candidate with Will Ospreay in New Japan. Go check it out. It's on YouTube, the full match. Probably one of the craziest matches I've ever seen.
In that one match, they want to give him a contract.
Yeah, but he's crazy. He's a really, really, really good person in Lucha Underground. He's one of their best guys, so that'd be interesting to see if we can take him away from him. That also, they're expecting one of the lowest holiday ratings this week on 4th of July for Raw this week, so they're hyping up it right now, actually. For this upcoming 4th of July edition of Raw, we're going to have WWE Champion Dean Ambrose face off against IC Champion Miz in a non-title champion versus champion match. There'll also be a massive, and when I say massive, I mean literally massive, 16-man elimination tag team match.
Teddy Long make this?
Yeah, that will be taking place. It will be Team USA against Team World. And of course, it wouldn't be a most popular American history of the year without the U.S. Championship match. And Rusev will be defending against Titus O'Neil.
This is interesting because they could actually put Titus over on 4th of July.
And then they could have him win the title. This is going to be interesting Raw. Maybe that'll get the ratings up.
Yep.
The official Raw preview also includes John Cena getting his revenge on the club and another possible former SmackDown general manager attempting to get in on the ongoing brand split drama. So
Cool.
that is very interesting. So yeah, a lot happening this week, or the last 2 weeks, and a lot going to happen in the upcoming weeks leading up to the draft. I cannot wait for that, and interesting to see what we're going to do with the show. We still haven't figured that out yet.
And
so
it's interesting. We're going to be at the second ever live SmackDown in Buffalo.
We'll be there the week after the draft. So maybe I'll even do a vlog about that. Maybe I'll do one, and we can put it on the on the YouTube channel. We'll see. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this week's Lowdown Show. That's going to be another episode of the Lowdown Show on the Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, the weekly episodic podcast where me and my co-host review and discuss Raw and SmackDown from the past week, and as well as any important headlines in the WWE. And of course, our Twitter poll segment, the Luke Gallows polls, which wasn't here this week, but will be back next week. If you like this episode, head on over to YouTube, Spreaker, and SoundCloud. Hit that like button. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spreaker, all that jazz. All the links will be in the description below. Remember, each episode of Lowdown Show is broadcasted live on Spreaker.com/NHBWP. Check Twitter for all live updates. And again, if you would like to join in the conversation, share your thoughts, questions, comments, tweet us at NoHoldsBarredWP. Send us an email on our official website, or drop us a comment on the YouTube channel, our YouTube video below. Until next time, guys, I'm your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and I continue to be joined by my co-host, the boss, Mr. Corporate himself, Corporate Cappy.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we are here always reminding you to keep it on the lowdown.
You're looking at the real deal now. Gonna kick your sorry ass out on the street. Is that what you got?